In this lesson, you'll learn to write complex numbers in standard form. Remember that a complex number is any number that can be written in the form a plus bi, where a is the real part and b is the imaginary part. Now, in standard form, a complex number is written a plus bi. It's made of two numbers, a real number and an imaginary number. A is the real number and bi is the imaginary number. Usually when you see a complex number written in standard form, you see the two numbers. For example, you'll see the 5 and the 2i, so 5 plus 2i, and the real number will be the 5, the imaginary number is the 2i. Or you could see, for example, negative 3 minus I square roots of 7. In this case, the real number is the negative 3, and the imaginary number is negative I square roots of 7. Now sometimes when you see a complex number, one of the numbers is missing, either the real number or the imaginary number, and that's because one of them is a 0. For example, when the real number is 0, you have a pure imaginary number, and that's when you see something like just a 9i, for example. That would be a pure imaginary number. The real number in this case is a 0. When the imaginary number is 0, you have a real number. That could be a number like 7. Now let's take a look at 3 examples with numbers to make sure that all of this makes sense. So here you're given 3 questions. The first one is asking you to write the sum of negative 12 and negative 7 as a complex number in standard form. So you know sum is addition. Let's just write this out, negative 12 plus negative 7, and then rewrite it without parentheses and without these double signs. So negative 12 minus 7. Of course, when you add the 2 minuses, you're going to get a negative 19. And check to see if it's in standard form, and it is in standard form. In this case, it's just a real number because there is no imaginary number, or the imaginary number is 0. Here you're being asked to solve negative 4x plus 2 equals 10. Let's begin by subtracting 2 from both sides to give you negative 4x equals 10 minus 2 is 8, and then divide both sides by the negative 4, and that gives you x equals negative 2. Again, check to make sure it's in standard form, and it is. It happens to have only the real number. The imaginary number again was 0. Over here you're being asked to solve square root of negative 36 plus x equals 12. You could simplify this radical first, or you could subtract it first. I think I will simplify this to 6i plus x equals 12, and then subtract 6i from both sides to give you x equals 12 minus 6i. Check to make sure it's in standard form, and it is. You have the real number first, the imaginary number second. Now you know a bit more about writing complex numbers in standard form. See you next time.